right, Desiree, since you're scared, you can go ahead and kick us
Oh,
off.
you can't. Aren't you a minister? That's what ministers do. Ministers say, you know what? Go ahead and lead us in prayer, baby. It's going to be all right. No. Okay. Anyways, I am Coach Desiree.
You gonna say hello?
Hey. Hello. Hello, everybody. This is my first time. Crystal's a pro. So, hey, everybody. I'm Coach Desiree.
Hello, I'm Coach Crystal.
And we are the Life Coach Besties. We were
That was
supposed to say that together. It's all
oh
right.
oh
Because that's what I
okay.
said we are, but it's okay.
uh that was awesome. By the way, you did an excellent job. Welcome to the first episode of our podcast. Again, like Coach Desiree said, we are the Life Coach Besties. This is a new endeavor that we are embarking upon. So buckle up. Okay.
Buckle up.
We don't know what's going to happen,
We
but
don't. We're letting the spirit move.
hit.
And okay, here we go. Minister, Minister Coach Crystal. And we're letting the our relationship move and our experience move. So whatever happens, it's supposed to
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
Amen.
So, just a brief background about who we are. So, again, my name is Crystal Mason. I reside in Chicago, Illinois. I'm from the south side of Chicago. Um, I became a certified life coach in November of 2020, um, along with my best friend, Desiree. And so we just decided that of the 15 plus years of friendship that we have, and this new endeavor that we have taken together, that we would just have a great time encouraging, motivating, discussing, strategizing about life, and just navigating life as Black women. To all my white sisters out there, if you're listening, we're going to help you strategize through life too. Any brothers out there, my kings, we're going to help you, whatever it is, whoever's listening. If my
My
dad is listening,
Lord.
my
Mhm.
Bridgerton, um, whomever is listening, we have a wealth of experience, and we decided, why not talk about it on a podcast? So that's just a brief background about me. I think based on Desiree's lesson plan, we'll get into more
Oh,
details later on in the episode. But I'm going to let her introduce herself.
so we're both educators. So I need something. I need something to keep us on track because this podcast would be all day if we did not
This
have
is true.
some kind of
This is true.
structure. So I made sure that we had Crystal calls it a lesson plan. I call it a production sheet, but it's okay, whatever it is, it's going to get us to the finish line. Okay.
I love.
So I'm Coach Desiree. Like Crystal, I became a certified life coach in November because of her. I had I had other things that I had planned on working on, but all of the things, oh Lord, I'm about to get spiritual here,
It's all
but
right.
every so I'm a post-it kind of girl, and I have small post-its and big post-its all around my wall, computer everywhere. And so everything that I wrote down for the pandemic, all of those things happened, and it culminated after I became a certified life coach. So it was awesome. All the things that I wrote, it was just amazing. So, and even Coach Crystal, I got to give her props because I wouldn't have a book if it wasn't for her, because I was struggling. I was like, I don't know, I don't know. She was like, listen, look at your wall, you already wrote the book. And I was like, you know what, I did. Thank you. And I wrote the book in a weekend. With all of that said, I'm an educator at heart. I've been an educator for close to 15 years. Oh, over 15 years.
Mhm.
And I'm a coach. That's just what I do naturally, and I just became official. Um I enjoy doing this, building people's confidence and allowing them to get to their destination as far as their career. So I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about this because along with laughs, we help people and we help each other. So hopefully we can touch you all. I agree with, the kings and the queens. We want to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of something. So
Yes.
that's who we are.
So we're excited. So I do want to pinpoint what Desiree said. We are new certified life coaches, but this is honestly something that we've both been doing a majority of our adult lives. We just didn't know that it was called life
You're right. now we now we have a
life
title.
coaching. Now we have a title.
Right.
Um, and so we are super grateful for this opportunity. Like Desiree said, she focuses a lot on confidence. My focus is on transition. And so by transition, I mean, if you're trying to, move from one career to the next, if you're trying to move from one relationship to the next, if you're trying to move from one state to the next, whatever that transition looks like, I support people in transition, whatever that looks like. So, Desiree, I have a question.
Let's hear it. Come on.
What is the purpose of this podcast?
So I think there are a few things. We wanted to give people an opportunity to get to know who we are as people, because when you find or when you're looking for somebody and you're like, I don't know anything about that person. We want to make some kind of connection.
What you all will learn about me is that I'm very much, I take my friendships very, very seriously. I take any divine connection very seriously. And so like we said, Desiree and I, well, we didn't say, but Desiree and I met in college. We met at Hampton University. She's older than me. So
Okay, here we were doing good. Here we go. I
we
don't
met.
I don't know how old anybody is. I just know that we're friends, so we the same age.
So we met at Hampton University, and we'll talk about how we met. But over the years, we've literally done life together. So
Mhm.
um, any big transition that she goes through is like I'm going through something not necessarily similar, but I'm going through another big transition. So we've done life together. And I just thought it was important for us to really show the importance of doing life with another Black woman, doing life with a friend, she's my, what, who would you be? My Ruth, my Naomi? I don't know. I have to go back to my Bible stories. But we just think it's really interesting how God brought us together and how we continue to grow together and do life together. And so we just really wanted to put that on display.
Mhm.
We are in our late 30s. And so we met in our early 20s. We were completely different people, had completely different lives
We
then.
did.
And
Mm.
so it's just really interesting how much we've grown together. And for a lot of relationships, anything could have broken us
Yeah.
apart, anything easily, but it really is a gift from God. I really do think that she is a gift to me, from God. And so we just wanted to put that on display, and really just do, talk about the importance of having someone there to do life with.
That's
But
that's that's why we friends, y'all. She's deep. I mean,
not at all.
always.
Not at all.
Just
Shut
like
up.
we're like, yes. Now I'm a listener. That was good, Crystal. That was good. But I want to provide some clarity too, about life coaching. We're not therapists. And a lot of us, even including us, need therapists, but we are not therapists. We coach. And the purpose of coaching is to allow you to answer the questions and just to give you some motivation, give you some resources, give you some strategies to get to wherever you want to go. So I want to be clear about that. Um, the way we talk to each other, we act like therapists, but we would never do that for you. For you,
No. No.
because we can just kind of pour out to each other as friends.
Mhm.
But just be clear, go get a therapist.
Hello and
Not-
Jesus, my
But
God.
definitely, because we're not that. We're not either.
We're
Okay.
not. And so what I want people to understand, though, I had this conversation with someone the other day, because they were like, well, if I have a therapist, why would I need a life coach? And I was like,
Mm,
oh, that's a great question. And
it
so
is
my answer to them was the access, and every therapist is different, of course, but
true.
the access that you have to a therapist first is different with a life coach,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the life coach. So the clients that I currently work with, they have a lot of access to me, but the type of access is also different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not telling you why you hate the color blue from something that happened when you were 6,
Mm-hmm.
and no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm helping you decide, this is what I want. This is the direction I see my life going. I need help moving in that direction. So I'm helping you with attainable goals, like small, like walking you through life step by step by step by step. And so a therapist is really focusing on the emotional, the physical, the mental, all of those things. And so you need both.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
just, everybody's not um, motivated, just intrinsically motivated to just get up and go. I'm not that type of person. I need help. I
Mm-hmm.
need support. I need somebody to say, I need Desiree to say, "You're doing good, Crystal." Like sometimes I need that, or to say, well, try this, or I need perspective sometimes, not too much, but I need perspective
Did you
sometimes.
see that finger? Mm-hmm.
And so that is the difference. That is
Yeah.
the difference. And so we do want to be clear, that we both, like
Yeah.
Desiree said, we both have been actively pursuing our own therapists.
Mm-hmm.
I think I found one,
That's
but we'll
good.
see. So let me say this, and then we can move on.
Uh-oh, fingers
To
out.
you, to you therapists listening. So I've been using psychologytoday.com to search for my therapist. Can y'all stop using selfies as y'all professional picture?
Ooh.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. We can
Yeah, because we had our our master life coach, so our coach
Mhm.
who certified us made sure she would not put us out, release us without. So hey, shout out to Dr. K. She would not release us until we had some professional headshots.
Hello.
So she said, "Oh no, no, no! I'm not putting my name on that, and you shouldn't put your name on that." So the
Hello.
selfies are cute, but when when you're talking about somebody's life,
Hello.
and a lot of people were visual, social media, all kinds of stuff. So we look at pictures, and it's like, did you take this at your auntie's cookout, or is there a cemetery behind you? What's happening? Like,
At
what's
Uncle
no, we
Earl's
need.
house.
So no, we want to see, the Capitol, or, an outside venue, or some kind of screen, something,
Something.
something
Something.
nice.
Okay, but that was off topic. I
That
apologize.
was that wasn't on the lesson plan, but okay.
This episode is primarily just for you all to get to know us. We don't want to just dive into topics right away.
Right.
But this is just for you to get to know us. So our friendship. Ooh, child.
I always like talking about, like, even it never gets old how we started being friends. It
So
never gets old.
this is my thing. When I tell people our story and they aren't emotionally moved, I get upset.
Well, they don't need to be your friends. That was easy. Thank you.
I'm like, I feel like you should feel something from
Yeah,
me
that's for
telling
us
you.
though. I mean, I still that's the power in this friendship. I never get tired of talking about it. It's just it was just so divine. It was
It
just
was.
so divine. And I don't even so let me start. So like Crystal said, we met at Hampton University, and we had seen
Well,
each other
tell them
because
where you live, because you never
oh,
said where you
I
live.
never said that. So I live in Maryland. Um and I'm from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, if you're familiar. My first year at Hampton was, I don't know, but I don't know when Crystal came, but again, we're the
2003.
same age.
We're not.
So we are. So so we've seen each other in choir for years, and there was no like, it was a like, hey, that's Crystal, but no connection, right? No, we all had mutual friends because the choir, everybody knows each other because we all congregate in one building. There's one building for choir, and then we go and we sing different places and all kinds of stuff. So Crystal primarily was in gospel choir in his
Mhm.
chosen sounds. And so I was in university choir, which primarily does things for the university, and gospel concert choir because I wanted to go and see places for free. So that was the best place to do it. Um, so Crystal joined, I don't even remember. Was that in 2005?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was, yeah, because I had an extra, anyway, I had an extra year at Hampton.
Because
Um
I'm like, people are people doing the math. They're like, dang, she was there a long
I,
time. But she also got her master's at the same time.
right.
So she was there. Don't come for my friend.
I got I got a few degrees from Hampton. Okay, okay. That was my senior year,
Mhm.
and I forgot where we were. Um
Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia.
oh, good. Crystal, perfect. So oh, right. Right. I remember that now because of the picture.
So just a
Yeah,
little
that picture.
background. So I was in his chosen sounds, the gospel choir. Desiree was a music major. I was an English major. Um, I never joined concert choir early because I didn't want to audition. I was too
Oh,
afraid
yeah.
to audition.
You
And
did
so
have to do that.
I finally got the courage to audition, got into concert choir. For those that know about concert choir, you travel. So that was
Mm.
a major part of the commitment. Like we traveled all the time. And so at that time, Desiree was one of the leaders in concert choir. She was one of was it a directress? Is that the
It
word?
was
I don't
a
know.
student director.
she,
I
she
don't
was a
know. Miss
she was
Miller
a
has special names for
yeah,
people, so I
because
don't
I
know.
don't know. But she was a director. And so the thing about me back then, I always side-eyed women.
She did.
Always. It was bad. It was a really bad trait about myself. But I always was like, who sent you? What you want? So continue with your story. I just wanted to
Well,
give
no,
that.
you know what? I never knew that because Crystal said something to me after what happened, and I'll share what happened. So, so we were in Atlanta, and I don't know, I was going through something, and I don't even to this day, I don't even know I don't remember what it was, but I know that in Hampton, again, I was a different person. So I'm sure it had to do with some of the things that I was doing at that time. Um, and I just like broke down, and I don't know what she was called at the time, our road manager. So our road
Mm-hmm.
manager like took me into the bathroom. We were at a high school. I remember we were
Mm-hmm.
at a high school. We had just introduced ourselves and we did a concert for students. And I just broke down, and she took me into the bathroom. She's like, "What is wrong?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know." So she brought Crystal into the bathroom because Crystal knows the Lord. Okay. She knew the Lord then, she knows the Lord now. Um, and Crystal's like, she asked me to, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't know." So she just prayed. And that's how I know she knows the Lord, because she just prayed and channeled whatever she needed to channel to get me to come out of the bathroom and feel better. And we've been friends ever since. We've been friends ever since. We're close, not just the friendship like, "Hey, Crystal, thanks, girl, for praying for me." Like we've been tight ever since. And
Yeah.
I had a party. I had a graduation party with my other best friend. Um, Crystal knows about him, so it's not like I'm cheating on her. That I had a graduation party though with him, and um, we can only invite 25 people. So family and friends included, 25 people each. And so I invited Crystal to that. And I had not been close to Crystal this whole time.
And so
And she came.
be clear, this happened in March or April.
Yeah,
Because this
March,
happened
March,
in
March.
March. Desiree's graduation party was in May. So
It was in May. Yep.
we had legit known each other's names for real, like first and last names for a few months. And I
Months.
don't,
That's it.
and the one thing about me is I do not um, jump on people's band. Like I'm not, it takes a while for me to get comfortable with people. It takes a while for Desiree to
Same
get
here.
um, comfortable with people, like a while, So it was
Hmm.
very interesting. Like people were very much like, y'all friends? Like when this happened?
Like, I don't just call people friends just for no reasons. But Crystal is my friend. She was
Yeah,
then, she is still now.
yeah. And so that story is so powerful for us because Desiree was not at that time. Desiree was not in a spiritual place. Like that just wasn't her thing. And so for someone who just and a person that, the person that asked me to come pray for her, she knew me. But she didn't know me like that, but she knew me enough to know, you know, Crystal is saved somewhat, whatever she knew. But
But you know what, Crystal? I would say that you're right. I wasn't in a spiritual place, but I was seeking something. Like I was
mm,
seeking that. I was here we go. I was seeking, like, I needed some access. And I grew up, my grandmother, my parents took me to church. And I had a church home, but I never had a connection. And I think
mm,
I definitely saw that in Crystal, because we started going to Bible study. What was it, in Virginia Beach or
mm-hmm. Yep.
Norfolk, I think.
Virginia Beach.
Um, but I was seeking, or just figuring out, where can I find access to God. And I was just trying to, church can be intimidating for people that really want to know God, but don't know how to get to him. And you hear these really deep prayers, like, man, I want to pray like that. And you see people break down scripture, and it's not like, now you can find people that are just plain and have tattoos and piercings, and eat ribs. And
What?
I'm just saying, like, it's plain, like, I think that my view of church and the church home that I came from, it was very much, they're like, we don't wear jeans because that's play clothes, and we always dress, it was just, no, we can't go to the movies. I needed to have somebody that I trusted, who was my age, that still knew how to have fun and wasn't too deep and stuffy, and I could still be friends with that person. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think at the time, Desiree didn't know um, the people that I came into Hampton with. We had a falling out and they were no longer my friends.
I didn't know
And
that.
so at that time, I was ready to try. Well, not that specific time, probably the first semester, end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year. I was pleading with my parents to let me transfer. I was trying to
Mm.
get out of Hampton. Because again, I had these trust issues. So now I had this falling out with these group of girls. And now I'm just out here. And so I had joined, a lot of my close friends at the time were guys. And so they all were in the choir. So I'm like, oh, y'all going in the concert choir? I'm going to go to concert choir too. It was not any real deep connection with women until I met Desiree. And so I prayed for Desiree. And so one of the strategies that I had today was, you have to really be intentional about asking God for him to send you his people.
Mm.
I believe as a Christian, we're supposed to love everybody. We're supposed to help everybody. We're supposed to serve everybody. But there are some people that he has for you, that are for you, that are about you, that are here to grow you up, that are here to walk life with you, do life with you. And so at the time, I'm just like, you know, she just needed prayer.
Yeah.
Um, but she turned into, for those last two, because she stayed to finish her master's, and so she turned into like my family. Like she
Mm-hmm.
was we were together all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All
And
the
it
time.
wasn't, and it was she was one of the first people that accepted me for me. She didn't laugh at me because I love Jesus and all I wanted to do was go to Bible study. No, she came to Bible study, even if she didn't want to.
I
She
need
came,
Jesus too.
she came with me. Like she never made me feel silly or like a lame or any none of that. It was just easy. It was, we're gonna sit here and watch Dream Girls 8,000 times.
And eat
Uh
food and
and
cook
eat food and cook. And
taco
so
salad.
it was
Mm-hmm.
very, it was it was easy. It was very
Yeah.
easy. And I knew it was from the Lord. How many people can you say we became friends because we prayed together?
You
Yeah.
know, as much as I accepted who you were, I was afraid to show you who I really was
Mm,
at the time. So I think that probably came out like once we both graduated. I guess we were both used to people kind of rejecting us for various reasons, but I
mm-hmm.
was like, she knows God. I don't want to say some of the stuff that I've been through, and because college is a place of discovery. Like you figure
Yeah.
out who you are, and you figure out who your core is, and your friends, and what you want to do in your life. So I'm not ashamed about the things that I've done. I think that it's made me who I am, and it's allowed me to help other people, to kind of
Mm-hmm.
guide them. But at the time, I was just like, oh Lord. But not, and again, not going to therapy, it helps. But why I did the things that I did and say the things that I said and just had bad friendships and relationships is because of things that I didn't work out and things that I suppressed. So I poured it into other people and other things. But again, I share, of course, I share that with Crystal now, and or then or later on in our friendship, and many reactions, but it's good. Again, she accepted me and she accepts me for who I am, and all of the stories and the things that we still work through is just amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
that is our foundation. That's how we came to be
Mm-hmm.
who we are now. So how have we maintained this, Crystal?
Who child? I think
I'm a,
I think we've maintained it through intentionality, like being very intentional. Yeah, like I think it is. We both made a decision. This is what I need. This is what she needs. Okay, is it something that I can do? Sure. Okay, let's make it happen. And so um, that has just been the culture of our friendship. And I don't think that we take stuff too seriously, for real.
Mhm.
Like, how some things people can just be in their feelings about.
I don't know. Well, no, as far as our relationship, I'm a very, very serious person. And
That's
I
why we
don't
got a
know
lesson
why.
plan. That's why we got a lesson plan for
I
this
always want to
podcast.
like shake it off. We laugh a lot, but I'm the serious one. Crystal can go to the improv right now and fill up the room. I think as we grow, things will come up and then we'll have to address them. But we're like we literally do life together.
Mm-hmm.
Like Crystal is a part of my family. Like we if I come to Chicago, you come to Maryland, it's like, all right, here's your room. Oh, I'm getting Crystal a new room. But anyways, here's your room. When my daughter was born, Crystal was like, wait a minute. So she's in my excuse me. He's like,
I needed therapy. I needed therapy.
she's in my room.
And what was funny is because Desiree and her husband had to talk to me and say, Crystal,
Right.
we're not getting rid of you. And I was like, nah, I'm done. Ain't nobody tell y'all I had no baby.
But see, they love
I'm the
each other.
baby. We do. We
You
do.
you and the baby love each other.
We
So
do love each other.
But there was one point. I want to go back to Hamden for a second. There was one point, it was a homecoming, and I don't remember. My mom had just left. She came down for homecoming. She had just left. And I was like, Crystal, like I feel like I suffer from depression really bad while we were at Hampton. Um, and I text Crystal. I don't know. Were we texting then or were we calling? I think I called you because I
I think
think
we were
texting.
texting
Were we
late
texting?
in that time, during like later 2006.
Oh
Yeah,
God, now we're really telling our age. But I had to. It was no touch screen at
oh
all.
no,
But I had to like. It was the texting where you had to press the button a few times to get the, and then you had to wait if it's on the same number. So they were really short. Okay, they weren't paragraphs.
no.
So it probably said feeling bad, Crystal, something like that. So I think that the choir had a so anytime we sang, we ate afterwards. And we've kept up with that tradition. So we continue to do that. But the choir had some kind of, or our choir friends had some kind of gathering at Ruby Tuesday. She's like, just come to the restaurant. Came to the restaurant. It was nice, bunch of people there. Had a good time. And I was like, okay, it's time for me to go back home. So she at the time I had a bedroom of an apartment. It was 600, I think it was 680 square feet. So it was a bedroom, a living room, a dining room, and kitchen, but in a bathroom. But you could stand in the kitchen and see all of the rooms.
Okay.
So it was very small. There were about 20 people there, and Crystal said, "Party at Desiree's." So, do you remember that?
I don't. I
Don't, don't you know all of those people came to my house? Well, my apartment. And Chris had a townhouse, so she had room for all those people. But I'm saying that because she thinks that is so funny. It at the time I was just like, wait, what? Like I'm good with you coming over, but where are these people going? But that was because I mean that's her heart. She didn't want me. She knew how I was feeling, and you know how you have a moment of like fun and joy, and then you got to go back by yourself, and you're still not feeling good. So she was like, "No, we're not gonna let that happen." So come on. So I mean, again, we have fun though. It was a good time. It was a good time. See, it's
I'm a, I'm trash. This story, I had no
like
boundaries.
I was like, um, okay. Okay. And all of those people came into that, and everybody fit. I
And
don't
we're
know
still
how.
and we're still friends with all of those people, I'm sure.
Yeah, we are.
We're
We are.
still
Like we still sing at weddings and
still
funerals. We still singing close to thee.
yeah.
Um. Oh, so speaking of that, speaking of maintaining friendship, so Crystal was one of my bridesmaids. And I had gotten dressed. You know what I'm about to say.
I do.
So I'm gonna go back though. So the day of my wedding, I wanted a Whopper, right? We didn't have any, like my parents had gotten all of us like a suite, like it was a it was a very nice suite. We got married on a military base, and we didn't have any food in the refrigerator. And I was like, "There's a Burger King. I want a Whopper." None of them. So I have four bridesmaids. And two of my other friends who were a part of the wedding, they were like, "No, Desiree, you're not getting." They were like, "You gonna smell like onions. It's just not going to be good." So I didn't get it. I don't even know what I ate. But right before we got into the limo, it was just me and Crystal for whatever reason, and she was like, "Look, you don't have to get married if you don't want to. We can go get that Whopper if you." So I was like, no, this is the man for me. I'm going to get married. Crystal, but thanks. She's like, you still got to, you don't have to do this.
Listen,
But I appreciate it because she gave me an out. Like, you
listen.
know that this is a decision. Like, you
Hello.
really don't have you don't
Listen.
have to marry this man.
F
It is,
all these
they call
people.
this, yep, they can eat. They can eat the food, whatever, but
Listen, and the reason I did that is because at the rehearsal dinner or the rehearsal the night before, Desiree's husband, you know, he talked to us to the bridal party, the and the groom, well, I guess that's all the bridal party.
mm-hmm.
Um, and he was just like, we are expecting you guys to walk with us, like to walk through life with us, to hold us accountable, and so once he said that, Desiree knows I don't play about accountability. So once he
No.
gave me the green light, I said, "Oh, uh, sis, is this what you really want to do? Because we ain't got this. Listen, we ain't got time to waste now." And she said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, let's go." And so the thing is, um, I think it's important. It's important to just love people, like the people that
Mm,
God that God gives you. Man, you got to love, especially when you have dealt with so many people walking away, that you've loved and you didn't feel the love in return. You
mm-hmm.
have to give it back, and you have to do the work. The work is not just for the married. The work is not just for, you know, mother and daughter. Like every relationship that's worth having, um, you have to work at. And so I just think we both work at it, and we both know. I mean, for me, because Desiree is married, because she has a child, I do not. I'm single. I have to look at her life with different eyes sometimes, because for me, I'm like, Desiree, let's go to Africa tonight. And she like, Crystal. And I'm like, oh, my bad.
Oh, but
And
we still do have girls trips.
we
That
do have
we do that.
we are intentional about making sure that we see, if we don't, we make sure that we see each other at least once a year. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is once a year. But it's just about being intentional. And because we didn't have, both of our mothers are very private people. And so I've really only seen my mother really with two solid two two solid friends. And they don't, and my mother tells me all the time, like, child, we don't do none of what you and Desiree do, child. Y'all too close. And I'm
Like
like,
what?
cause we
What kind
friends.
of friend? Yeah, what kind of friend? My mom had. She called her friends the posse. Um, that was the cool word back
Come
then.
on,
But
Flossie Flossie. Yeah.
but yeah, I what we do is not, it's not natural. I guess our parents' generation, because
Hmm.
they, they have friends, but they came home, they worked, they took care of their families. Actually, Crystal, before I got married, she said, like, I'm concerned that after you get married, it's going to be no more us. I'm like, let's be clear. My vision is not that. Like, and I don't know. I think the idea came um, from me. I heard it a lot in church. Like, be careful. You can't really have no single friends
And that's
when
what
you
I
get
heard.
married.
Right.
And I don't think that that's true. I don't think that that's true at all. I think my friend is my friend. There are things
Hmm.
that I can't do that Crystal does,
Hmm.
but we still, at the core of our friendship, we're still going to be friends. So I was like,
Hmm.
I mean, she was very concerned, and she and my other best friend, I have three. I call them my three, but they talked about it, and I was like, there's nothing that's gonna happen. There's nothing that's gonna happen. Some of the dynamics have changed, but if any of them pop up at the house at any time, they have a key and walk in, because that they're a part of my family. Like that, they are a part of my foundation and who I am. I cannot do life without them. And I don't have any sisters either. I have an older brother. So it's just important to me. It's very, very important to me.
Yeah.
So
This is a lot of emotion for me for one day.
yes, it is a lot. So I can get, so Crystal's deep, but she's not emotional. I think I'm more emotional. I'm able to express my feelings a little bit more
Yes,
than Crystal
she is. She's really good at it. She's really good at it. I'm
does.
not.
But
I'm
I
not.
but you guys, you need a Crystal, because Crystal introduced me to Harold's. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I won't go there. Um But everywhere that Crystal has gone in her life, I've been there,
Yeah,
except for England. I haven't been
facts. You
there.
didn't go
I
to
haven't
England,
been there. But
but I
but I
called you.
was probably one of the only friends that she called.
You
And
were
at that point, we had to use like calling cards.
calling cards. Yes, I used like 15 of them.
Was it like 6 hours ahead or something like that?
6 hours. Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, we were talking while she was in England. But yeah, we have gone to different places together, seen different things. Um, but yeah, I
Listen.
I, I want to make sure that I'm there for everything that Crystal does, and same for her. It is.
And so, with that transition, why is it important to have a core? So, let's put our life coaching hats on. Why do you think it's important to have a core?
I think it's important to have a core um for venting,
Mm,
for reflection and perspective, and for accountability. I think the core will never ever be afraid to tell you the truth, and you need some people in your life, and doesn't have to be a lot. Some people that will hold you to what you say you're going to do, and to always tell you the truth. And when you get down, and when you let you vent, but say, all right, so let's think about it this way. Let's give you a different perspective,
mm-hmm,
because I'm going to let you have your moment, but I'm going to allow you to be great. I cannot allow you to be mediocre. And I always say that about my core. My core, like Crystal's going to be a doctor in a couple months. Like, so it's always, I'm not a competitive person, so that doesn't motivate me. But my friends are always my core. They're always doing something to climb to get to the next great thing. And I feel like I need to keep up, and I feel like I need to make sure that we're in alignment. So I think
hmm,
that's the purpose of that. And as you go through being coached, and as you go through life, like, you need people that you can always depend on. So that's the importance of
yeah,
that. And it could be friends or family.
yeah. I think I think friendship is what makes you really a solid coach, or really a solid,
Hmm.
just a solid, yeah, it makes you a solid coach. And so, even though, like, I know Desiree says she does a lot of coaching in her job, but Desiree really does care about people. Um, Even the people she doesn't like, she cares for. Like, she wants to see the best for them. Her goal is to not break anyone's spirit. She wants to see everybody succeed and be better. And I think we practice those things as friends.
Hmm.
We practice hard conversations as friends. Like, her first hard conversation wasn't with her husband. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like, you learn how to talk to people as friends. And so, it's really interesting because when I talk to people now, a lot of people aren't really sold out for friendship. A
Mhm.
lot of people are not, and this is just my opinion. A lot of people are not good friends because life happens. You have
Yeah.
children, you get married, you get divorced. People, you're working. So it's just, if out of sight, out of mind, if I don't see you, especially during the pandemic,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
because it's people that you were accustomed to seeing. So now you have to be much more intentional about reaching out, checking on people. And so, I honestly, as a single woman, would not have made it this far in life without my core. I wouldn't have made it,
Mhm.
like Desiree said, without people pushing me, without people being great. I don't want to be Desiree, but I do want to continue to make her proud, just like I want to make my parents proud.
Mhm.
Or, that's what you use motivation for. That's what you use that core of people for. And so, when I'm coaching clients, a lot of what I hear is that they're getting advice from people, or they're getting people's opinions, but
Yeah.
those people are not on the same path and journey as you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
they're not giving you godly wisdom or good wisdom. You want opinions about being an entrepreneur, and they're like, but being an entrepreneur is dumb. So why
Or
would you talk,
risky.
or
Yeah.
risky? Or so now they're pushing their fears onto you. And so even at this age, even at 36, ooh, child, 36. Even at even at 36, I don't subscribe to the idea of no new friends.
Mhm.
It is the new people that I have met along the way.
Mhm.
Again, divine, because God really does pick my friends. I've never had to choose. He always just drops these amazing human beings in my life. And I'm like, oh, shoot, where'd you come from? You're amazing.
Yeah.
And so, I just think that we have to be very intentional about life. Like, and I'm sure Desiree doesn't mind me sharing this, but I've had a rough season. Like, this has been a rough season for me. And so we talked last week, and she was just like, Crystal, the homework for this week is we finding a therapist. I'm a check it. Like, that's how she talks to me. She don't talk to other people that way, but that's
First
how
of
she.
all, I sent that in a text. So I don't know where
I
the
heard
voice
your voice. I heard your voice. I heard all of your voice.
Yeah,
Um,
because well, yeah, you heard my voice before I got off the phone because I was mad. Like I think, okay, so your friends. I am a very protective person. And Crystal is too, because I think because when we were talking about what you were experiencing, somebody just decided to pour and continue to pour, and you didn't ask for that. And so again, just to drive home the point of having a core, I didn't ask you. And even if I did, I still have my own identity to say I'm either going to use that or not. But in a fragile state, somebody decides to pour into you and it's like that's not what I want. Like that's fighting words. Like and you were in a place, I think that you were in a space of feeling kind of broken and feeling, like questioning things. And I just don't think that that was that person's place to continue to drive their point home. So you were left with, I'm going to listen, but I'm upset about it. And that's where I was like, no, because I want to make sure that I know that that's something like therapy is something that we've both been talking about and making sure that we have the right person. But it's like, okay, now is the place because you were in a very fragile state that day. And it's like that those kinds of moments are messages and breaking points where you just like you got to decide to do this now or get to a point where you're going to hit rock bottom and it's going to be hard to get out of that because I've experienced that. And I think from our coaching lens, I think that's what helps us to be good coaches is because a lot of the things in the areas of our expertise that we coach in are some of the things that we've dealt with, and the strategies that we provide are things that we have used and given to other people to use to be
mhm.
able to get out of certain things and move on to the next level. And again, we're not therapists,
Yeah.
but just some strategies to make sure that we continue to grow. So that's important.
Having a core is important. And so I think sometimes we feel like, well, I'm just too old to know. You're never too old to be open to what who God sends. And so
Mhm.
my advice, my encouragement, if you don't listen to anything else that we said today, pray for God's people. Like, Lord, send me who you want me to have. Be intentional about asking for that, be open to it. Like I said before, I was very much and I'm not going to say that I'm not all the way that way. I'm much better now. But when I met Desiree, I was not in just, oh, come here. Like, no, I'll pray for you, sis. But that's it. It was so strong though, because in that season, I was praying for her. I was praying
Mhm.
for a woman that I can do life with, that I can be friends with, that I can trust, that I can grow up with. I had prayed for that. And so God answers prayer, and so I really encourage people. Stop, pray, really evaluate. Do I like the direction that my life is going in?
Mm-hmm.
Do I like the people who are walking life with me? Period. If it's a no, take a detour, sis. Take a detour, bro. It's time to move. It's time to move around, because there are really some solid people out there who really will um give of themselves. And when they come though, you have to be the same. You have to do the same. A lot of times it can easily become using
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
we are taking from people,
Mm-hmm.
when people are constantly pouring into us and we're not pouring back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, like, Desiree, like me and Desiree have a love hate relationship when it comes to giving, because we're both
Oh
givers,
yeah.
and we both hate receiving, but we
Yeah,
want
we'll
to
be at the
give.
restaurant and we're like, I got it. No, give it to me. No. How much was that? Oh, it was free. No, it wasn't. Like, I'm just gonna send you something on your Cash App. Now I'm going to refund it. Like,
This has been who we have been for like, we do not
yeah.
like I've recently just had God has just had to tell me, like, Crystal, but this is what I told her to do. So you gonna question me? Nah, Lord. All right, I'm gonna take it.
Don't block my blessings,
I
Crystal.
don't, but you have to be who these people are to you. Do
Mm-hmm.
your best,
Yeah.
at the least, do your best. And because that's a part of the journey. We weren't created to do life alone, pandemic or not. We weren't created to do life alone. And so it's just very, very important to really, I write stuff down. Desiree is huge at writing stuff down. She's the queen of really being able to put her thoughts on paper. And so look at, I write people's names down. How do they benefit me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about monetary, or no, like, does this person pour into me spiritually? Does this person, are you never available when I need
Mm-hmm.
you? When I need you? Do you ever have good advice? Do you ever, check on me? Like, and that might seem kind of silly, but we have to do
Yeah,
self inventory.
it's important because people can be leeches, and you feel like I'm tired. Why am I tired all the time? It's because you're being sucked dry, and you can be mentally tired and realize, like, oh, let me let me give you some space, or you know what, just actually evaluate like the relationships that you have, because
Hmm.
it's really important. Some people are seasonal, and
Hello.
they're not meant to be lifetime people. I always call Crystal my lifetime. We've been through a whole lot of seasons together.
Listen. Hello.
And she's my lifetime friend, but everybody's not a lifetime friend. And again, some people were just for Hampton, some people were just for my last job. And if we see each other, there's no bad feelings, but that connection is just not going to be the same.
Yeah.
So you really have to evaluate people's purpose in your life, because if it goes on for longer than it's supposed to, then it'll have you questioning everything, and you'll
Everything.
end up going somewhere that you had no business going, because you've held on to this person for too long. You've held on to some kind of relationship for too long.
Yeah. And holding on really keeps you in a season that God was trying to deliver you from a long time ago. Hello? Because I
That's
know.
why, yeah,
It,
it's important. Oh God, I can't look. I can't look. It's important to have discernment and really know who you are, and really know
yeah.
where you want to go, and really have a connection with Christ.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it just is. So, and we are both witnesses to say it's not easy at all, but the daily connection is very important. So just
Yeah.
being, like Crystal said, intentional about where you're going in your direction and who's supposed to be there.
Yeah. And I honestly think Desiree's journal is a great tool for figuring that out.
So my journal is called My Identity. It's a journal developing an understanding of you. It is a process that God took me through first. There were a lot of things that I went through, and just trying to figure out, like, Lord, why am I here? Like, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? We right before the world shut down for the pandemic, Crystal was visiting. It's so funny. She was visiting for her birthday. We had like a little gathering at my house with some of our friends from Hampton. She flew out. I think the day before she flew out, our governor had mentioned that, okay, 2 weeks off. We're going to be off for 2 weeks. The world's shutting down because we need to get the hang of what's happening with this pandemic. I buy chart paper for fun, and I put up a whole bunch of chart paper in my office. And there was one night, there's several nights I couldn't sleep because my sleep pattern was thrown off. I wasn't working, wasn't doing anything. Like everybody was just home, couldn't go anywhere. So my sleep pattern was off. I wrote down, I was just writing down some things, and I just wanted to know, like, what am I supposed to do, Lord? What am I supposed to do with this time? Who am I? Who am I right now? Because I feel like as you're growing up, as a, you in college, you're like, okay, I have a direction, I have a major, I've chosen a career. But since then, I haven't done like a hard reset, like an evaluation of who I am. And so, as a mom, um, as an educator, as a wife, um, there's a lot of things that I do, but that I can get lost in that stuff and not
Yeah.
remember my purpose and what I'm supposed to do on this earth. And so I had like four charts that night, early in the morning, where I wrote down some questions like, who is your core? Who who's your spouse? Like just different questions that I know, but also who do I need to forgive?
Mm,
What are some goals that I have that I'd like to accomplish? What do I value? Um, those kinds of questions. So that's all in this journal. But then I had another set of charts, and I went to the Bible, and I asked, like, who does God say that I am? Because that's what's going to ground me. And I need to compare the I need to compare the things that I just talked about with my natural sense of who I am to what God says about me. And I know that the Bible says the same thing for everybody, but when I put those two side by side, I was clear. I was very
mm,
clear. Um, and so I wrapped that up in this package here. All of that is here, but it's for you to do. And you just write down and you journal. I have a journal for everything, and that helps me to reflect. And this will allow you to reflect. And once you get to the end of that journal, then you can talk about, okay, let me reflect on all of this information that I wrote down. And you write down that identity and who you are. And once you really know who you are as a person, and that could change from season to season. But again, once you know who you are, you know how to advocate for yourself, you know how to articulate your needs,
yeah.
and you can't be easily swayed about what people think you're supposed to do and all kinds of things. So this is a great book because I know, because I did it. And I have talked to God about each project that I put out because it's a personal project, and I know that it works because I've done it. So Crystal has a journal called the Relentless Pursuit Journal. She actually has two. But this is great. It's been great for me, but I want you to talk about yours, Crystal.
So my journal, the Relentless Pursuit Journal, is a 12-month journal. The purpose of that journal is to set monthly goals. And so for me, uh, Desiree has a different way of releasing. For me, I can't. If I see too much, I'll get overwhelmed. And so for those of us that have to be real, like I don't know what kind of personality type I
Chunks.
have. Yeah, so like, so for me, doing it in doing a goal by month, that has been more beneficial for me, and so that's just what I put in the journal. And so each month you just set goals. What is it that I desire to accomplish? How do I desire to get there? So it's places for you to write down what your goals and action steps. And so uh, just because sometimes we can goal set, but we don't we don't take it another step down and say,
Mhm.
okay, well, what do I need to do
Mhm.
to accomplish this goal? And so that is what the Relentless Pursuit Journal is for. And so we definitely just wanted to share those projects. So these are things that we came up with because we wanted to really decide like what direction do we want this life coaching to go? How do we want to help people? How do we want to serve people? And so just as a person that has known Desiree for a very long time, she is very much the encourager, and she is very much but she's also very much, I'm not going to encourage you and you don't know who you are. So who are you? And I'll encourage that. I'm not
Yeah.
going to encourage. She definitely loves people who are comfortable in their skin, who are bold in their skin, and she will make you just feel like, me and my friends talk about her all the time because she's just, girl, you sharpened a pencil? You are something else.
Why? Why?
And
Why?
you would just be like, I did just sharpen a pencil.
Look at this. This
I am
pencil is
amazing.
nice. Because you didn't sharpen pencil. I did.
But she is very good at just really making you feel special and really encouraging you. And so yeah, I think we gave you guys a lot of information. This is a lot. This is who we
It's
are.
a lot.
We are very multifaceted women who are, on this journey together. And we are excited about what is to come. And we're excited about the level of growth that we will have. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we are here to serve. We are servants.
Mhm.
We want to help
Mhm.
people. We want to push people. We want to support people. And we want to do life with people.
We do. And we want to make sure that we coach you to be better.
Yeah.
We need you to be better. So every day shouldn't be the same. Every day should be a step toward greatness, towards your
Yeah.
excellence, toward whatever goals you have. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
important.
And there's no excuse
Mm-mm.
not to get the support that you need. And so,
Because it's out here. Yeah.
yeah. And that's
And
our
we
job.
yeah, definitely. Definitely. So we belong to a group of coaches who are stellar. And if we can't help, we can point you in the right direction.
The name of my company is Relentless Coaching and Consulting. You can find me on Instagram at Relentless Coaching and Consulting, or you can go to my website www.relentlesscoachingandconsulting.com. You can also follow my personal page at DJK Mace, and I would love to have you.
Come on in. Okay. It's my website is earlyvisionconsulting.com. My Instagram is at Early Vision Consulting. And don't forget about Life Coach Besties podcast.
Yes, I forgot. I forgot.
So make sure you follow us on Instagram. So we'll have some guests, we'll have some friends on, we'll have some episodes where you write to us about some different things and we'll discuss some strategies for you. So we're
Mhm.
very excited about that.
Yes, we are. But the first thing to do is make sure that you follow us on Instagram and like our page on Facebook, Life Coach Besties.
All right. So thank you for joining us. I hope that you got something from anything that we discussed today, and we're looking forward to our next episode. So stay tuned. Bye. Holla,
Okay. All right.
holla.
All right. And the recording.